Ladies and gentlemen, I am Sino, your caster on Desk Observer, and whatever the hell you want me to be, I'm gonna be it. I hope you guys are having a great night. We bring back the Kyanite semifinals. We're getting straight into the action. I apologize for the somewhat long delay, but without further ado, let's get straight into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we wait for both teams to finish up the ban phase, we do have rosters for you today. Lining up on the defensive side of Team CC will be Abolish, Vizsla, Stargazer, Cryptical. He's making his comeback, ladies and gentlemen. W's in the chat. And Mr. Quickie. Disappearing and looking at the attacking roster as well, we will have Andy, Bars, JBA, Snooze, and Creepy. With Creepy being the exception, now having the Adexi himself to be standing in for him. It's going to be a great day indeed. And I'm pretty sure I was wrong on that. It's not Creepy, it's Snooze that's missing from this roster. So, Cafe Dostoevsky is what the first map holds for us, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great map. I mean, everybody knows it's a great map. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what the hell my mic was doing, but as I was saying, it is a very fun map to be able to spectate, and just not too long ago, I was just casting this for Roller Saturday. I mean, both teams that you watch, they always commit the holds to either Cigar or trying to hold down CS. It's always about taking your sweet old time, and if one team can display that correctly, then we will be in luck. We'll be here to be able to lock in and see how they'll be able to play it in. But as of now, Azami not going to be seen for today because she will be banned alongside with Mira as the defensive, and Dokkaebi and Blackbeard will be taken out. Quite simple, kite staple, and it will make sense for today. Now, taking a look at any of the metas, they will be looking to hold down Cigar without the shield. That's going to be a little bit of an interesting one, but they have the castle, so it's a little bit safer. As this is going to be best out of 3, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be our first map picked by Wild Boys Obey. Second is going to be Clubhouse, if I'm not mistaken. And third is Lair, I think. No. I'm an idiot. Third will be Bank. I was just trying to think here. It's been a long day, but regardless, we're back into it. JBA knows the tech. We're using hollows. Andy's a little AFK here, but doesn't really matter. As a minute is going to be burned off the clock so far. Lots to be done here. They need to clear the utility, but not for Adexi. Utility to him is just a fantasy as he drops. Cigar getting opened up as always, and now they'll have the grand piano as Ash looks to enter in soon enough. She has the windows open now. She'll have the external play. She'll have the man entering in through it. Cigar Vulcan canister does get popped out here by the Twitch, and now they're starting to make a advantage towards the site with heavy amounts of utility in their favor. Burning out everything. No heavy droning done at all, but they are just taking their sweet old time. One man drones in, the other walk in and look to get the first gunfight, and it looks like we might see first blood soon here. The Dexi's directly on the front lines alongside with Creepy. Cigar and Ticket looks to be the first point of play. As one of them makes one wrong move, it'll be heads in, good night, lights out, as they are looking to just execute Andy from being AFK to dropping in sight, forced to jump over the bar here. Does anybody know? It'll be Andy to find first blood, as now they advance on towards the site. JBA falls next, Andy down, and it's all crumbling here for Obey as they manage to lose bodies but manage to reel it back in. Andy still down, leaving them at level 3v3. They just need to find the response here from Cigar, but just not fast enough. Quickie gets shut out very quickly here by Creepy, and it is now working in the favor of Obey. Taking that sweet old time, really trying to advance towards the site. Somebody needs to win the gunfight here in the favor of CC. They can't allow Andy to get picked up, and there you go. That Stargaze, the only man at 100 health here to be able to find it. Andy meets his maker, gets finished off. The timer, it runs out. You have an expiration date on that death, and now Stargazer is lights out, leaving Crypto at 1 HP. And he will go down. Executed very well here for Obey. Almost managed to mess it up with having Andy fall very quickly, but it managed to go in their favor. Executed perfectly, just have to look to continue and do so, and they will be in for a great time. But it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, we will be heading in for our rehost, and we will be back as soon as possible. I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently that was on me. Apparently one of them left and I didn't see it. So that is my apologies, my bad. And we will head on to the second round. CC now left to defend upstairs yet again. They do have the opportunity to try to bring it back. Absolutely bombarded on all fronts here by Obey. They got dissected. They even allowed one man to drop the hatch, and that's why you allow either yourself to bring a buffer, such as Goyo canisters, or maybe even a Frost. He dropped the hatches. You had Andy flying down the skylight, and just too many individual clutch factors for you to be able to handle at once. Becomes a problem when you can't stop that aggression, but again, they have the early stages. This is the away turf, and they will go on to their home turf next map. So they just need to hold down until then. As the main idea for both sides here is to dissect the play from either side. Now, for CC, this means taking all of that utility, taking care of it one by one. For Obey, it means not falling first, keeping your bodies, and making these defenders get scared and back up to a corner, because that makes them susceptible to mistakes. And right now, what they're doing, they clear out the utility first, they use the teamwork to be able to push into one area, and so far, that's been Cigar, and then they allow themselves to get aggressive. And so far, that works out perfectly. Until Mr. Clutch Factor himself gets first blood, but quickly refragged after, as Quickie will fall. 4-on-4, make that a 4-on-3, as Andy wakes up, rises to the call, and gets a frag for himself. A Dexy waltzing right up Bolo here. Right up his alley. Bolo, Shaiko, whatever you'd like to refer to it as. But I know Shaiko's the better comm. As of now, 4v3 as it stands, it looks like Cigar's going to be all of Obey's. Just be careful of the crossing, because those head holes are still there, and it's a very viable death. Abolish for 2, trying to keep his team in it. Long rotate, and he knows it's a better idea to go down to the freezer. But as that happens, are you going to be able to get back in time, or all of your teammates going to be dead before that time? Stim, very much needed. Stargazer in his crucial spot, like always, just waltzing in the corner, but Creepy shutting him down because there's nobody watching the cross, and now Crypto left on a flank, but no Stim being distributed. Knocking on the door of White Stairs, you have Creepy holding 2 defenders at bay, Plank going down, it's mandatory, verticality established, and the hatch is going to be absolutely a deadly position to try to look down here. Abolish taking care of Creepy, but still, there's verticality established on the diffuser. Becomes a problem here. You have 25 seconds to get the job done, and somehow we managed to get the goddamn glitch. Oh, welcome to Rainbow Six Siege. Oh my god, man, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind, dude. Oh my days. Dexy denies the plant off of the skylight. Part 1, verticality established. Bars is just having a good old time. Abolish tries to put it all on the bearing weight of his shoulders, and I'm pretty sure Bars was stuck on the rappel. Bars had the rappel glitch that whole round, and his team still goes on to win the round. Interesting round here for both sides. Obey goes down a man, and CC only gives one man the job to be able to try to murder everybody, and that just doesn't go according to plan. First round, very easy. Second round, even easier, as Obey continue to dissect those upstairs holds by CC. Next point of objective will be that mid-floor site, one of the most beloved. You have the castle, you have the verticality established, and you have the ability to be able to hold upstairs with passion, with the ability to not be scared of the external play, because castle, you allow him to be able to throw him down on the exterior windows, allowing yourself to just relax. If you even get cheeky and reinforce the double pallet wall, you even have more cover. You can use pallets to your advantage now and just camp out the corner, because again, the key factor to defending this map is forcing the attackers to waste time that is anywhere but being in the site. Because the more utility they use, the more time they waste, they will be rushed for time when it comes to approaching the site. Rounds in the books. Cafe attack seems to be very easy here for Obey. Be mindful though, they're on their own map, but Regardless, first map is always the one that makes the biggest first impression. And right now, if Obey can continue to starve out these rounds, that momentum may be too great for CC to have to be able to deal with on Clubhouse. Clock ticking down. Vizsla being a soft body here for Cigar, meaning he's not going to be fully committed to it. He's just going to have a shield. If it falls, it will be a contingency. He'll just run away. Stargazer, first blood as he'll find Andy, take care of him. No longer alive, no longer a threat as he looks to retrieve a stim here from the man in the next room, but it's all about the risk. You have one man and make that two as they repel outside of mining and look to advance now above Cigar. They take their sweet old time to execute, but it becomes a problem when they start to pool up. Stim received, Stargazer reset, and verticality seems to be the next point of objective here for the attackers. As Obey, they move fast. They move as a unit. They move fast, and honestly, it's kind of nice to see. As now, Crypto has a bulletproof camera, has his yokai drones. He needs to be able to be mindful of his space. Could be a pain to have to deal with here. You have the live pings, but what happens when you lose the yokai? Now you've lost the ability to deny the plant. You have one more left, and hopefully you'll be able to use it with some sort of passion. Bulletproof camera looks to go down shortly after, as now the attacker is starting to pool up here on the utility. Pre-fire a Dexy. Oh my god. It looks like he just knows what to do. That shotgun, though, lethal at that close range. C4 looks to go through. No connection. Second time. Vizsla, what are you doing? Looks to blow up the bomb, but guess what, buddy? It's not a human body, as they're left at a 3v3. They're at level, and Vizsla's assigned to holding upstairs all by himself. Becomes a problem here for CC, the fact that you're losing bodies so quickly, but now you have this one man with a shotgun. He's becoming lethal, but he just gets shut down by Creepy. Instant refrag, but just look at the aim. Look at the reaction time. The case is still loose. C4 looks to do more damage, but no bueno, as we'll see a verticality gunfight, but I didn't know Quickie was like that with that SMG-11. Shuts out to verticality ×2, as now there's one man to knock on the doors of these defenders, and he'll be by the name of JBA. Death Row Hall is where he's gonna be, as he looks to find one. You need a triple to be able to close out the round. At the close range, the shotgun's lethal, and it'll be sticky Quickie for that third. Not much you can do except don't die to a man with an SMG-11 via verticality. Becomes a problem when he is the one to absolutely terrorize your team. Finally, CC close out that deficit to 1, and it looks like this has finally sprung into action. Main problem seems to have been that upstairs site. Looks like they're not going to be touching mining. They're not going to be going upstairs, and now they will be going into the kitchen site. Freezer, what? Somehow not getting the feed holes, despite getting that shield that usually allows you to deny it. They bring the mute instead of the smoke, meaning VIP seems to be like a rare possibility, and now makes me kind of question what the idea is here. You don't have the Azami. You don't have a Dokkaebi, and now you're going to have a lot to deal with. I mean, the Dokkaebi and the Blackberry getting taken off the board plays to your favor, but not having a zombie is a problem. Nor the mirror. Get these bands up on your screen because I forgot we rehosted. First blood as Bars finds the face of Vizsla. In what world was that a good idea, especially when you're trailing? That's a rough way to go down, and that'll be first confirmed. As they look to build up on it, they are getting aggressive, and they are doing it fast. Looking to build upon that first kill. What else can they find is the question. As now, you just have Andy running around like a psychopath. Might be able to just rush in here. Looking to get lucky, but Creepy will execute the man. Sitting close in small bake the far in the window. Abolish finally finds that refrag. Avoiding that narrow spawn of having a flawless round against you. But he only looks like to be the only one who looks to have woke it up for this game. Falling at every single turn, it becomes a problem when you have one man with 5 kills and everybody else looking to trail. Quickie being that individual man who won you the round last time, but it still becomes a problem. Abolish for 6. Will find that double kill in this round and now looks to deny the rest of Small Big as the attackers are starting to circle like sharks. As he takes the quick shot, oh my god, Abolish, you're disgusting. filthy as he disguises himself as an absolute demon. Takes care of the face of Creepy, and now 2v1, so much more achievable than a 4v1, and he looks to just approach this site. He looks like he needs to isolate the ones, because the slower he takes, the more time he'll take, he'll be able to isolate each and every one. It'll be a quad, but the positioning's just not good enough. His feet, vulnerable. Brava capitalizes. Toes shot, round lost. CC almost walking away with a round in their hand just due to one man. He has 2 quad kills in a total of 4 rounds. That is a problem as he is approaching 8 kills. I mean, becomes a problem when one man is doing all the heavy lifting, and CC's gonna have to address that sooner or later. But as of now, they have to keep their heads in the game. No mental chalking allowed. This is your opponent's map after all, but you can't be walking away from defense in such a large deficit. They look to continue or try to continue and close out this deficit, but still so much to be done. And the pressure in CC only crumbles when it comes to the front line. Abolish and Quickie being those last men on the defense line, and they are just not enough for it to be able to be successful. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Bans will now be popping up on your screen shortly. Forgot we were rehosting. That's my apology. Finally, it looks like we've woken up here. They're doing the freezer hold. They don't have the feed holes, though. It just looks like they'll be committing the shield, but it makes me wonder what good it does when it comes to denying later in the round. Andy will go down first via Frostmat, finished off by Vizsla here, and that is the idea of being able to capitalize. Somehow, the Boogie Drone doesn't find that Frostmat, and that will be a fatal mistake. Timing, just not Andy's best enemy in that certain plane, leaving them now down a man. Looking to knock on the doors of Bakery quite fast. Volcans look to pop soon. Utility being popped here, and now it looks like it's about to become a bloodbath the way they are starting to get aggressive. Abolish, first man to be death marked out, and now seeking refuge behind a mute gemmer allows it to be cancelled. As Bakery has now been completely open, they are going for it. Abolish will find one for his team, and Creepy finds a refrag, but they're still down a man. 2 defenders pulled up here on Whiskey, and it still looks like the preliminary pressure is coming in here from Bakery. Abolish just threads the needle. The man's an absolute demon. Walk into his crosshairs, and you'll meet his maker as, wow, he continues to become a problem here for Obey. But Creepy's, he continues to also be a problem to have to deal with. That's 2 kills for this round, and he continues to keep his team on the board. I mean, you can very much tell who is doing what for either side, and it's very obvious who the fraggers are for either side. As Creepy looks to play patient, try to draw out the man playing Whiskey. Those bullets from Frost definitely draw him out, but Abolish for 3. It doesn't matter what you're doing. He looks to continue and capitalize, and it looks like he might be able to find another quad. Abolish knocking, looks for it, will find. That is 3 quad kills, almost back to back to back. The man is lethal. The Vector, the MP5, it does not matter. Abolish, we're 6 rounds in, your last defensive round, and you've claimed 12 bodies to show. As the deficit is now closed out to just 1 round, it starts to become a lot more realistic for CC to be able to walk onto the attacker half, leaving it at a 3-3, but it's all about what they want from this round. They won this specific site very easily. They took their sweet old time, they executed, they even got kills off the vertical. looking to find a response after that round. You got completely dissected by one man. You have to be able to approach with caution after that. Just don't walk into Abolish's crosshairs and you'll be perfectly fine. But as of now, he will remain very much alive and very much a problem to have to deal with. But first blood goes on to Quickie, and he'll no longer be with us, ladies and gentlemen. That leaves us at a 5v4, and now we will see Obey now with the lead. It's been a little bit of back and forth, but it looks like either side wants it more, and it continues to become a problem. As boots on the ground land, you'll have a Dexy on the front lines looking to knock on the door of mining. As Creepy will find the double. I mean, Mr. Frag onto the second frag. He'll have 10 kills for himself, and it becomes a problem from either side. But Vizsla steps up to the task and takes care of it. Dexy leading this at a 4v3 situation. Vizsla taken care of quite soon. Creepy's to find 3, as he looks to find 12 kills as well. Gazer looks to try and have a fighting chance, but it becomes, oh, too much pressure, as it becomes a problem when, again, we're just leaving it to one person at the end of each round. Obey walks out the half with 4-2, and they'll switch on to defense. OCC, you guys, you keep giving yourselves shimmers of hope, but it comes a problem every single time you do so. You undo it instantly. You lose first blood. You even lose a second pick, and it takes you so much time to be able to try and find a refrag. Becomes a problem when you cannot respond. And Obey, I mean, yes, you have one man responding to their attacks, but now he got taken out first or second, and you fell apart. First sight for the Obeys. They will be going up to the second floor to try and conquer what CC couldn't. They fell short on this twice now. They allowed themselves to get pulled up on multiple times, and now they need to be able to walk out of it with the ability with their heads up. 4-2 split, not ideal, but will be able to try and make it achievable to try to bring it back. 2-round difference is not crazy to come back from. Finally, the shield being brought here for the deep freeze. I was wondering when we were going to see this. No head holes, though, which is a little bit of an interesting take. But it looks like Goyo is just everybody's favorite operator here. Adexy finds first blood, takes care of Mr. Superstar. Abolish no longer will see the light of day. And this will be a problem to deal with. That's one kill down again for CC, and they'll lose the first body. I mean, it becomes a problem after a point. You cannot continue to lose the first bodies on your opponent's map. But that's first blood, and that's done and dusted. How is CC going to capitalize? You're on the attack. It'll become a problem when you realize your attacks are going to need more than just 4 men for every 5 defenders. Cigar looks to be the main point here, and as we saw Obey attacking, they pulled up onto this area. You had one man playing external, watching in through Grand Piano to watch into CC. You had another man watching this corner, and you definitely weren't letting people run through the corners of Cigar, wasting that utility. But as we approach the 90-second mark, a lot of things need to be done here for CC, and it looks like the answers are just no longer there. They're hacking everything, yes, but the air job's getting wasted out. Verticality as well, going to become a problem here so late in the round via these Grims. Only 3 of these left, but doesn't even matter. That'll be another kill, as Creepies will take care of the face of Quickie. Every player here on Obey sticking up to the task. Bars just stims. Everybody else has a good time, and as they look to hunt down the man going for the dock, you can't just get baited like that. Be aware of your surroundings. Stargazer finds one, but not shortly after. Adexy will find his face, and that'll be the round yet again, as the now lead grows up to 5-2, and it looks like CC starting to lose the plot here. Regardless of whose map it is, you guys are falling short at every single turn, and now the deficit for them is 3. How are we allowing each other to get fully fragged out via baiting. You have one man sticking outside, so Grim completely ignores there's a window to his left-hand side. It becomes a problem after a certain point, but as of now, they just need to try and close this lead out, because if they don't walk out with this map, that can be fine. It's not yours to begin with. But if you do close down the difference, you can go to map 3 if it does require it. If you can manage to find your own map and you go to map 3 and you have a small round difference, you can pick the sides. You start on Bank, and Bank is one of those maps where you need to know what you're doing. So heads need to be up, advantages need to be closed out, and Obey just needs to continue what they're doing. Scopos, as I've spoken on it before, one of the best prolific roamers. I mean, she has the ability to freaking teleport. I don't even know how to address it. She can teleport. She can reset her health to full. And, to make matters worse, she has a fully automatic AR. Interesting site setup here. Hatch will remain soft for Obey, but in the meantime, they will have 2 roamers. Addition of Siege X, all of this repelling can be undone quite fast just due to repelling across the sides of buildings, which you couldn't do before. I mean, wall sprinting seems pretty fun, and I'm excited to see how it will play in the factor of clearing out these roamers, because look at how long it'll take them to repel up to the roof, to play out the windows, to reset on the windows. It takes a lot of time to do that, but right now they just need to be able to do it with their heads up, because if this Vigil comes to the aid of the Scopos, it might be a problem. But speaking on the other side of the map, Vizsla will find first, he'll find second. Can he find that third? As Scopos is right next to him, make that Vigil. What is he looking at? Vizsla looks to capitalize, pistol out. You just need to take your time. Take a breath, Vizsla. As he looks to find his third, he'll get double teamed. Where is his team? They're droning out the 3rd floor. Vizsla finding 2 very nice kills, and it would have been amazing if he wasn't the thermite, but now losing your hard breacher becomes a big problem when having to approach the site. Luckily, they will have the boogie drones, Ram, verticality established. They'll even have the hatch in their favor, but the question is, can they capitalize? Verticality has become a problem for either side when they're attacking due to just watching the heads sticking up on that vert. As they look to progress towards the site, a minute remains, and they haven't even approached the floor yet. The case is loose, and they know it is. The aggression starting to rain on in. Vigil is caught off guard here. Very easy kill here for Quickie if he just remains patient. VIP looks to be a bloodbath. Somebody's waiting for you in Whiskey as well. It'll be a game of ring around the rosy, back and forth. It'll be Quickie to open it up. Becomes a problem here. We'll find 2 down and dusted, as it'll be Quickie to open it up to find the 3rd, but shut out oh so quickly. And that will be a 1v3. 20 HP left next to your name, no C4, and you have the Sharks circling with Abolish being the one to take care of you. Bodies done and dusted. Abolish, Mr. Frag himself will approach his 13 kill mark as he looks to close out that difference. Just look at how that G8 came into play. So many bullets, and Quickie manages to play patient. You know where one player is. You always have to be mindful. He didn't exactly know where the scope pulse was, but the general information of there being a rotate and Whiskey being an option to be played, just look at how he approached it. I mean, he didn't even get thirsty to finish the kill. He took his time. He even pinged it for his teammate because he was closer and he knew it was safe for his teammate to go for it. But if he had crossed, put himself up in the line of sight, he would have gotten quickly refragged if we had seen one man going by the name of Creepy Wide Swing the Bakery, which we saw him try to do. Not looking too good here for either side. Lots of things to be cleaned up. Obey, though, being the obvious players who are building up their advantage, building up the way they play this game. And all they have to do is to continue and play as a team. When we see them go for the individual clutch factor, when we see them try to get really aggressive, first blood rains in for them almost every single time. And then they have to go a minute or 2 minutes even into the round with only one body down. 4v5. Might not seem like a big difference to you, but it is when you're defense. Looking to approach the guard quite quickly. Crypto, Mr. I haven't played in so long. I've missed the man for real, but he's back. The passion needs to be there, Crypto. Show us why you're back. You've been subbed in for Dejevin. You have to be able to show us that there's something else for you. As First Blood, it'll be Abolish. Who else to take care of First Blood? Andy to jump out a window, take care of Vizsla, but it'll be Quickie to find Refrag. Out of that exchange, you will find Obey suffering one-man deficit. Now, Cigar looking to be the next point of attack. Might change really quickly. You'll down one, but the instant refrag by Gazer closes it right back out. Creepy looking to knock on the doors of these attackers. You'll find the first. Unaware of the man sitting close on the deep freezer, but he's playing passive here as the bulletproof camera supplies him with the information. He also has the assistance of the man Bars. As they look to take their time, they look to hold them at bay. It'll be Creepy to be the one to get very aggressive here, looking to find the next kill, looking to find that response for his team. They've been down, and now they're finally even. What'll they have to bring to the table? Breaches now are going to be jammered off. One man rotating back to the site and will just walk up white to be able to have that cross angle. As Bars is soon to get double teamed here, it'll become a problem. F-Not connects. Shotgun lethal as Creepy's finishes off the job. 2v1, leaving this to Fate. F-Not, and there's no way you toss that. Becomes a problem. Abolish, do you have what it takes? 16 kills next to your name to be able to drag it in, and it becomes a problem for you, Bars. You haven't been having the best of games as you look to shoot the goddamn Volcan. Makes you wonder, what is Obey thinking? That's a 2v1 you just can't be selling. You have the F-Not. It becomes a problem, and now 16 kills next to one man's name is going to haunt you in your dreams. It's been closed out to 1. What a round for either side here. I mean, Creepy really taking flanking to another level. Finds nearly 3 kills before falling on that last one. Becomes a problem when you just don't know when to stop. He was looking to approach for the third, but it genuinely just became a problem when you waited too long. But as it stands, they've managed to close out the rounds to just 1. There's only 1 standing in between Level and 1 standing in between Obey to going to that match point. It'll become a problem for them if they continue to get aggressive with no response, no uniform play, and no idea on what to do. But they've won this site before, 3 rounds ago, and they look to have the idea to win it again. CC really looking to make matters worse for the opposing team. If they can take this map, Clubhouse is a walk in the park compared to this. They just need to hold on. They just need to walk and hold up to the task. As a timeout, I think would be very beneficial because everybody looks to be waking up now. But Crypto going 0-7. Yes, he hasn't played in a minute, but him going 0-7 just cannot be helping that narrative. Vizsla, though, Mr. Champions League himself will find First Blood taking care of the face of Bars to make that 2. Oh, Vizsla, looks like you've opened up the round. Quickie for the third, and it's all fallen short in 40 seconds. Adexi's holding an angle onto Whiskey, but this guy's not even on that floor, man. Get upstairs. Nobody looking to respond. Creepy getting 1. Still 2 more bodies to respond for. Adexi finally finding it, and Creepy also being that individual clutch factor. But guess what? Who you get taken out by? The king himself. 2 players battling for that fragger role as Abolish looks to knock on the door of Adexi. He will connect, and oh my god, he's having a generational game as his teammate opens it up for him, and he'll close it out with 2. I mean, jeez. Quickie Vizsla for 3 kills in 25 seconds. Good night, and I'll see you later as, wow, they've managed to get dissected in a matter of a minute completely. 2 players, one with 18, then next with 16. 8 deaths compared to 4. Abolish has single-handedly brought his team up to 5-5. But CC, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Abolish having the fragger roll. Crypto, now that I'm realizing, has 6 assists next to his name. Being Mr. Pippin himself, and Vizsla really finding those first picks. As Crypto's the one to take damage first off of Andy's preliminary run-out spawn peak, it looks like it's all calmed down here. We finally don't have one man swinging like crazy, and I feel like Andy's about to change that narrative completely. First blood, Bars now finally waking up here. Had 2 blunders in the last 2 rounds that cost his team rounds, and now finally redeeming himself. That's first blood. He'll take care of Crypto. The other player's not doing the best. And that will be response for response. JBA makes matters worse here for CC, and Creepy will go down to 20 HP. Abolish getting taken care of. Is this the end of the round? One man falls. One man's loss is another man's treasure. That's not the saying, but it just fits for this situation. First blood, Vizsla for his team yet again. AK-74 just looks absolutely beautiful in the man's hands. But now, 3 players assigned to trying to win. You'll be boots on the ground, unaware that there's a C4 waiting directly below you. Vizsla gives up his position by hearing that, and Creepy is now going to be a problem to have to deal with. Adexi gives out that comm. Easy C4. No challenge for you. Another man on the grand piano. Quickie looking to get insanely aggressive quite quick. As one man is on the cameras here, sitting close. You'll get baited out perfectly. Look at that teamwork, leaving one man in a pool of defenders. They all line up for him, and that just becomes too much to deal with. Obey advance on to the match point, as the difference is now grown, but just to 1. The nightmare of this team goes by the name of Abolish. He dies, it all falls with him. And it's very evident as now we look to see match point. Can Obey finally close it out? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that mid-floor, that last time around, it was a blunder. They have to see if they can hold it down this time. Is Abolish going to stay alive to become a problem? Or is it going to be CC to be able to fall short 1 round? Going AFK while you're 5 and 8 doesn't really seem to be the best order of business. One of the best top console teams in NA. Adexi looking to find a refrag. Oh, not fast enough. Not enough bullets as well. Becomes a problem. That's first blood on the Bars. The guy either finds the first pick or falls short. It's actually hilarious. That'll be first blood. And now CC look to build up the advantage. Drone flies in. Oh, you better run, boy, run, as you quickly avoid death. Second kill goes in the favor of Gazer. I mean, it is genuinely just about if CC can find the first kill. They just build off the lead. It's the ripple effect that always comes into play here. They take their time. Goyo getting genuinely jumped, losing all sense of hope. Abolish takes a 12 gauge to the teeth, but it's still a 1v4. They look to advance onto the slight flashes to hold a Dexy stationary, and a wallbang is enough to close out the round. And ladies and gentlemen, first map of the night, and we will go to overtime. Oh, it starts to get oh so much more dramatic. Though face-off of the Wild Boys becomes a problem here for either side, but it's really starting to heat up. I'm loving this. Only 15 rounds is the maximum amount we can go to, and we are currently on 12. 3 more potential, and let's see if we can go to 7-7, because it's starting to heat up. It starts to heat up, ladies and gentlemen. Obey gifted 1 more round of defense, potentially 2 if they can drag it onto the 15th, but they need to close it out. CC gets first kill and it becomes a problem, and now all they have to do is be able to avoid it. But looks like Andy's just trolling. Hits his teammate once in the shoulder, and now allowing them to reset. Two players on either side looking to get that 20 kill marker next to their name, looking to potentially find a record, as there's so much more time left to be able to try to find that record. It'll be a little crazy to see. But 1 minute into the round, and they'll be looking to knock on the door of this defense, and they'll find it down. That is not ideal, and those Grims will make it a problem if he hears that on the window. 1 more frag, it'll be enough to close out the job, but a res is imminent, and that is a beautiful way to take a man down to 20 HP. Getting rid of the BPs, Twitch originally sending in that drone to be able to find the man who was down, but it'll be creepy to take care of Vizsla. And again, first blood in his favor, now you have to be mindful of the C4. As one man looks to knock on the door of Ticket, are you going to be aware of that Valkyrie camera? You see it, but you don't. It becomes a problem. Andy makes matters worse, finds 2 for his team. 5v3 situation puts us in a desperate spot here for CC. Attackers looking to knock on the door, trying to find a refrag with the C4. No bueno, no joy, as it becomes much more realistic to try to take the cigar control. JBA becoming a problem here in this corner. But as we get to that 1 minute marker, somebody needs to find a kill here, and it needs to be able to be Sticky or Abolish, as they will lose the man advantage. One body will find 4v3, make that a 3v3. Sticky finds the next. All leveled out now, leaving us at a situation where this is so much more achievable. Adexi still low from that down on the frag grenade earlier in the round. Barsh taking some damage as well, trying to line up a C4 here. Everybody taking that stationary position, with Creepy being the aggressive factor. 39 seconds. The clock continues to tick down. C4 misplaced with just 1 bullet you needed to land, and you managed to not be able to do that. 3v2, as now it becomes so much more winnable for Obey. The case is loose, and you guys just need to take your time. You have the Ash Charge to be able to find that verticality. You'll be able to do so to be able to breach and penetrate the bar. You guys need to get aggressive. You guys need to get aggressive fast. Triple kill for Creepy as he looks to get insane. Abolish making it a 1v1. He's broken the 20 kill marker, and Bars just camps out in the bathroom as it's a 1v1. It becomes a problem, and it will be an insane factor. Abolish, you know where he is. Just don't let him run. 1 second left on the clock, and they barely cinch it. Obey advance to match point in overtime. It has become a problem for Obey. You're on the match point, yes, but you cannot allow it to get this close. You're on your own turf. Lock it in and bring it home right here as they look to try and advance on to map 2 with a map in their hands. Overtime becomes very risky here, especially if CC wakes up in that next map. I mean, Abolish, man, just a problem. 20 kills next to his name, and Crypto is 1 and 9. I mean, the team is building off of each other, but I don't know, Crypto just can't find his footing. Just take a look at what we saw last round. I mean, Abolish baits the man into sitting in Bakery. Bars stays there, falls for it, while his team pummels up from above and rains down those bullets through the hatches. 3 kills, and they drop and just flood the site. It was played out beautifully, and they should continue to try to find plays like that, but as of now, it looks like Obey's starting to slow down. Gazer in a risky position now, becomes a problem. You're on defense, you need to be able to restrict yourself, have your bodies, but that LMG is not going to be something you go up against. You have 26 bullets and she has 100, and that is such an easy death for Gazer. Patience is a virtue, and it looks like you've lost that plot. It looks like map 1 looks to come to a close as Adexi finds his second. Andy looking to knock on the door, and Quickie, oh my god. You're gifted a kill, and that's a flawless round to send us to map 2. Clubhouse next on the chopping block after CC start to fall short and forget how to play the game in the last. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that is absolute cinema to take us for our first map. We won't take long times in between maps, but we will be back after a short break. Back. I told you. Now, we approach Clubhouse. This is now CC's home turf. They're on attack. Granted, it is Obey's side pick. They can be able to cinch it out right here, right now, if they bring that same passion they brought to overtime. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look. We bring it on into the game, ladies and gentlemen. They're looking passionate. You just have one player on CC who looks like he's hungry for it. Wow, Abolish has dropped a legendary game and still couldn't manage to find it. Imagine dropping 20 kills and still losing. But as we wait for the ban phase to finish, it looks like we're going to be going for the same remote lineup. As I look to just keep myself updated on my TPL, we are approaching that final ban, and it looks like Obey has lost their goddamn minds. But does it really matter? Does it matter? Nice. So I just realized I was talking into a muted mic. But we'll advance to the basement site first here for a bay. That's what they'll choose out. But I like to bring in a certain philosophy when I'm casting. So regardless of the map we go to, actually no, it's imperative. If we go to map 2 or 3 and one team has such a good built up momentum, it won't matter whose side it is. It won't matter what map we're on. That team is going to clean house. If we're not aligned up, if CC allow themselves to get mental chalked after an overtime loss on their opponent's map, they will screw themselves over. But if they bring up their heads, if they lock it in and they find this map, we go to map 3, they will give us the battle of the ages. As both teams know they're more than competent to be able to hold out, and they just need to be able to prove it in the game. A little bit of an interesting mirror. I've never seen that before. And it looks like JBA's lost his mind. First blood as now Mr. Heroic has fallen short. And a little bit of toxicity here from Andy as he looks to grow. And they are getting aggressive, evened out here by Quickie. But Andy finds the second, JBA for the third. And it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, the narrative, the action has all been set for this game. Look at how aggressive they're getting. Look at how fast they are looking to process. Stargazer gives himself a very easy kill. Something I love about this guy. Watching Stargazer always takes his time. He is so mechanical, and he really can find his kills. But as of now, still becomes a problem. (3v2) as somehow, after all of that effort, we remain with Obey in the hands with a man in their pocket. Andy, back up to 100 HP, took that risky play and abandoned his robot as it is going to be lower on HP. Crypto, Gazer, you guys are left now to find a response for the faults your team made on trying to approach logistics, and you have to show us what's in store. So much left to do here. You need to be able to take care of the 2 players upstairs and then advance, but then you'll even have to be mindful of the Scopos drone on the 3rd floor. So many factors to take into account, and only one man to be able to process them all. Gazer for 2 as he now looks to make this a much more realistic round win. Cleared out in stock, taking his sweet old time, but one man stands in between him and getting an easy clear, and that'll be JBA. But he'll be a fence. He won't be anybody to have to deal with this now. They are just running away. Left at level. 2v2, 30 seconds, full oil push. It'll be Barsh to drop the case and find a headshot. Looking to find that second, having a better game than last so far. Just stim yourself, but not even needed as JBA closes out the round. And that's first in the favor of Obey. Toxicity at an all-time high with Andy putting mags into the body of Abolish, and it looks like the passion is starting to wake up. This is why we watch Rainbow Six. And that will be the first round in the books for CC's map. as they look to knock on the door to make these rounds continuously worse. Obey looks to build on that lead. Gym bedroom, one of the harder sites to attack, is now on the chopping block. It's all about how you approach it, and as of now, they're having a great old time. They take their time to approach, and they are doing it beautifully. Teams getting hungry, and it looks like Obey is the one who wants it more. They're the ones that set up fast. They're the ones who swing everything, and sometimes that's not a deciding factor, but for this series, it is. As Andy just has a kill inches away, he won't be able to find. First blood will go in the favor of Andy as he does use patience as a virtue, claims the hard breacher, and now it becomes a problem. Why is Barsh taking the gunfight with a pistol? And if he finds it, oh, this might become a problem for you, Crypto. You have a goddamn AR in your hands and you lost the gunfight. That, ladies and gentlemen, why do I feel like this series might come to an end here? 5v2, and we have players losing gunfights with pistols finally abolished with a response, make them 2. Player down, it's evened out very quickly, and that's kind of what happens when you mess around and find out. Orbang imminent as they now have made it a 1v2, and this has become much more realistic here. Vizsla looks to finish the man who's down, but he'll just seek refuge in the corner. Needs help desperately from his teammate. Vizsla looking to get aggressive here, loses the gunfight, Kit loose yet again, and now 2v1 as Abolish does everything he can to continue and keep his team on the board. Barsh Abolish, where have we seen this narrative before? A 1v1 situation, Barsh, you have 20 HP and a dream, around 90 seconds to hold one man at bay. Just unlucky, and it's just your luck. That man is the one that dropped 20 kills on your team's head, as he will find his 4th and final to confirm the round. Trolling goes a little too far, and that is a round over. Let's take a look at that double kill with the pistol hit again. I mean, you just can't get ego chilled by a pistol. I mean, I don't care what the circumstances are. That is unacceptable. Huh? It happened, and they still managed to lose that round. 5v5, right back in the same site. And now, it's level. Andy looks to get aggressive, but does reveal his position. Phoenix a little bit of a higher risk to be able to try and approach, as this man is getting insanely aggressive. He's found 3 kills in response. Stop Breacher on the board. How do you lose that Barsh? Looking to make matters worse. The impact goes out. Andy will find, and that'll be a 4v3. Adexi takes care of business, and will find Vizsla. We've seen this once before, and I think we're about to see it again. 4v4, 3v4, 3v3, and now down to a 3v2. Bodies drop like feathers all over this map, and it looks like Obey is starting to throw yet again. They don't want to make the mistakes as last time. They'll reinforce off the con single, and this makes matters even better for them because they have a Mira. The kit was loose, and now that means they have to reset and drone, because if they don't, it'll be a nice defender surprise of utility. Looking to knock on the door of construction. They look to dissect one by one. No Azami this time, but you do have C4s to deal with. Abolish, regardless of the scoreline, regardless of the series line, he is always locked, always positive, as it looks like he's just had a second reawakening. Call him Sung Jun Woo as he looks to find the next. But 3v2, name of the game. C4 looks to make it a 3v1 as he looks to detonate it soon. The lounge comm pushes him off the external. Beautiful display of teamwork, but now the C4 is still loose. Volcan, to make matters worse, popped out. And Selma Charge shot out. Abolish is going to have to eat the fire to be able to try and find a body. He looks to do exactly that. The C4 detonates the second Volcan, meaning it will be only achievable to walk through without getting ticked off by that fire when we are at the 20-second mark. The fire burns, and now it is only one man to try to find the response from this area. Abolish always getting closer and closer to being able to thread that needle, and he is looking. Question is what is Gazer doing to be able to try and find it? Two very mechanically gifted players here. They're very skilled, but you are just not in the level of the players of Obey. They'll fall short, as they don't even have the full cross into Jim, and they'll isolate the 2-1s off of either side, taking care of business, and then it'll be Obey to reclaim the lead, growing their advantage to just 1. Abolish continues and tries to force his team on the board, but it genuinely becomes a problem when they cannot find a response. Crypto, if I'm not mistaken, either was 1 in 10, 1 in 9. He had a couple of assists, so I'll give him that. He had above 6 assists, but it becomes a problem when you can't find a kill. Abolish, oh Abolish, what are you going to do? 2-1. They found the lead, and they have the map series in hand. CC can't afford to make any mistakes, especially being on attack. Granted, they are on their own map. Doesn't matter, still becomes a problem when you fall short every single time. These earbuds are not cooperating with me today. Oh my god. There we go, finally. Left at level as you have one man going crazy on the roams every single time. It'll be Andy alongside with the Dexy now to look to get crazy and active. Usually you see a 5-man bunker downstairs, but it'll just be this guy alongside with this guy to get active. Strip club look to be held down here by Andy, and the friend called his boss G. One shot at the close range will deal enough damage, especially in the range with that Ash. Quickie, first man with boots on the ground as he enters in through Strip, but Adexi opens up first blood, taking care of the face of Crypto. I mean, Jesus, this guy's not having a good time. Andy looks to continue in troll, tries to find just an impact to his teammate's face, but, you know, Pokeball doesn't connect. Olden days head holes, like we're back in the day of ranked, is going to keep that held down. No easy access into sight, no rotate, except for the one sitting close here on the Arsenal room. Now, 4v4, Gazer will find one, looks to find the second as he does here at Dexy, but Oil Pit, he'll be long gone. Abolish taken care of, and is that the deciding factor of the round? The hatch is soft. Utility possible to be used, but right now, you've lost your star player. One man looking to knock on the doors of Oil Pit, and he has the case, so it becomes a problem if he falls. Vizsla on the Habana, usually very, very gifted when it plays. He's insanely good with the bearing. He's even better with the primary. Takes a sweet old time, but it doesn't even matter because now he's last alive, and he will go down swinging. Looking to find the second, no bueno, but the case is loose across the map. You have 45 seconds left, and all of these defenders circling like sharks. You'll take care of Adexi. 2v1, still very achievable to be able to win, but you are still low. Case in hand, 30 seconds left on the clock. Oh, that was a kill gifted to you, but you are going to toss it. He's looking to stem him. looking to take the gunfight, just timing of siege eras as he will fall short. And now that'll be the round yet again in the favor of Obey as they now look to continue and blow up their lead. 2 more rounds left on their defense, and I feel like it'll be a little too late once CC wakes up. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, where do I even start? CC, so many things to address. Where are you going to start? Not a single timeout has been called, and their recent runs of form have not been looking great. Maybe not the best of ideas to sub in a player who's a little bit under the weather, just a little bit unsaturated when it comes to playing with the team. I mean, Crypto, I love the guy as much as the next man. I mean, that's not even true. I love Crypto. The guy is amazing. But right now, looks like he's lost his mojo, and that'll become a problem. And right now, we almost seen a Mira spawn peek in the big 25. First blood, if that would have happened, I would have gotten off. Ended the cast and just eaten, you know, cinnamon toast crunch. But finally, there you go. Star and Abolish to find 2 kills in a matter of 22 seconds. He'll take care of Andy and Adexi, taking care of some of the pressure on the board. Abolish threads that needle. This guy's an absolute superpower. He's kept his team on the line almost every single round. Bars now refined to the depths of hell, and that is called Cash, getting pressured from every single area, and JBA looking to land a C4, but where the hell was it? It wasn't even on the default. Looks to go for a full clear as he has no way to get back easily. Are we dead ass? Are we dead ass? Flawless avoided, ladies and gentlemen. GBA shooting the body of Abolish. The toxicity actually needs to be met. And somehow, he's not going down. 1 HP and he eventually finally falls to the gun of Vizsla. The Para hits too hard to be able to walk out of that and Obey. Lose that round in a interesting fashion. 3-2 scoreline, last defensive round. Obey, I mean, there's a vulgar term I could use here to really say what they're doing, but let's say they're just getting really confident here, very, very cocky. Managing to just swing anything that moves. If it's even a goddamn couch, they'll swing it. We're baiting for our kills, but I mean, they have a map in their hands. They're leading on their opponent's map. Why wouldn't they bait? Looks like Creepy has beef with the radio. He can hit headshots, but he can't hit that. Not having the clutch factor game similar to last time, but I mean, his team's winning, so it doesn't really matter. Currently going 3 and 4, 3 assists next to his name, and Abolish still leads in most kills this series. He has 8 built on to the 20 plus from last. Four v 5. Viz finds first, but evened out instantly as you will lose your spear entry. The tip of your attack has now been taken care of. Bars now back down at a couple of shots of damage. Now, having a better game than last. I think he was 2 and something, 3 and something at the point where they were starting to choke out the rounds, but he finished the game with his head held up high and now looks like to have a generational game. Currently going 7 and 3, leading his team in kills. just taking his sweet old time. But taking care of Abolish, and it looks like they could not care less about anything else. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, that's a cliff. Oh, that's a cliff. Creepy, forgetting how to shoot a weapon, playing block blast in the middle of the site, losing the advantage. Vizsla building up on that, getting a refrag. Now, building up the... Oh my god, I'm actually lost. Finding the next. Now, 2v4, the name of the game as they look to knock on the door of the site. Trying to take care of business, but no avail as they need to find a refrag. And Andy, you absolute psycho, will find two. But now, as JBA turns away at the very last second, will find a kill, leaving it at a 1v1. Traded out, and now left at level. Oh my god. That might have been the worst aim I have ever seen in my life. That cafe whiff by Quickie in that last overtime round, it doesn't even come close to what I've just witnessed. Oh my god. It's left level. CC now has defense, and I think it's very possible for us to go to map 3. But, I mean, he'll be back in the game. He'll be selecting his operator, and he better get his head out of where the sun don't shine, or we, ladies and gentlemen, have a lot left to be able to watch. I can't, I don't even know. I don't know. I'm approaching my 1-year anniversary of casting, and I don't think I have ever seen anything as bad as that. Creepy. Dropped 20 kills last game, and resorts to that. Beautiful. Beautiful. From taunting the enemies and baiting to... Wow. The basement site will be the first objective here for CC. 3-3, a basic canvas. You can consider it nil, as now they are left at that baseline as they switch on to defense. They'll have the ability to relax, reset, and try to approach this with their head held up high. They're not trailing. They're not in a deficit. They just need to build off of that and try to force the map 3. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, should we just spectate Creepy the whole round? Hopped his ass on hard breach off of Nook instantly. Bar spear entry assigned. JBA to find the mirrors. Will connect with one. Sadly shot right after. Cannot find the one on the church wall. Andy assigned to the verticality. And now as the hatches get opened up here, they're a minute in. The 5-man bunker here from CC allows Obey to take the majority of space. Set themselves up for a successful attack. The biggest question is, are they going to be able to have a successful execute? Because it becomes a problem in that last minute mark where CC is all held down with all of their utility. JBA, first blood taken care of Quickie. Now they have managed to give themselves the lead. Can they build upon that? You have Ash knocking on the door of sight. It'll be 1 kill for Bars. Instantly refrag. Don't know what he thought the objective was there. But now it'll be Gazer to try and hold it out. Dalton Games is a crazy diss. Oh my god. 4v3, the name of the game. 90 seconds left on the clock, and Adexi contemplates dropping the blue hatch. Twitch is assisting his long angle from the coat rack, and it looks like JBA will just take matters into his own hand. It'll be a game of ring around the rosy here. Stargazer not managing to fall. Somehow, that wasn't a headshot. But now, 1 HP right there. 3v3 all leveled, and one shot will take care of one CC member. They'll approach that 1 minute mark, and one man resides right below the hatch. And can you find him before he finds you? Vizsla going out while he falls, tries to try. Oh, what a sentence. Tries his best, goes out with a bang, but Abolish puts his team right back on the board. The king is still alive. Can he manage? They look to overwhelm, and the guy is just unkillable. It's actually insane. He just does not die. Gazer will land a one-tap to be able to end it out, and now they will claim the lead for the first time this series. CC finding their footing as Abolish is the single-handed man to take care of all of the pressure from Moto. I'm sorry, I need to see it one more time. I can't. Somebody clip that right now. That is going to be the play of the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you I'm posting that. Everywhere I go, I carry that with me like a calling card, especially for the amount of shit he's calling. 3-4, CC look to push and prolong the end of this series as they now claim the lead on their own map, and hopefully they can claim the map itself. This might be one of the hardest ones I've had all year. Just trying not to break composure. Funniest clip I've ever seen. We'll spawn in to take care of the gym and bedroom site. Same hole, different team. They'll look to approach it with their heads held up high, and that's exactly what they'll need to do if they don't want to lose the lead. Construction, main point of hold. First Twitch drone meets its maker. No Azami here to assist, but it'll be a problem. Patero charge easily set up here. They'll have verticality. They will have everything established, but guess what? You won't be expecting of a C4. Crypto, your first kill of the game is via huck it out a window, and you'll find it. Patero charges raining in, trying to take care of that utility on the construction wall, but right now it's jammed out. You're going to have to resort to getting aggressive, and the question is the mute going to be able to read this play? Breach opened. Andy knocking on the door of logistics, and it looks like C4 is how you deal with the aggression. That's 2 for 2. As I don't know if we're watching CC or Prime Lakers as they continue to land their shots, bullets, and C4s. Quickie for the third to close it out. 2v5, and it's starting to become more and more unrealistic for CC to walk out. What the hell is he doing? Andy for 2, looking to build up the lead. It looks like I was complimenting, and they've just lost the plot. It's a 2v2, and this might be the quickest throw I've ever seen in my life. Andy, 3 kills. Abolish versus Andy. 10 kills apiece for either side. And the bait, will it work? Oh my god, you're the king. Abolish, abolish, abolish. You've been tested over and over again, and you have only had one answer, and that has been shots to the head. I need to take a look at that. What the hell did we just witness? The bodies just line up for him. I mean, that's the second time they've allowed that to happen in a series. They need to be able to approach this with a held up high. What? 3-5 scoreline. CC approach the finish line of this map, and they need to be able to do so without choking it. It is make or break, and it looks like they want to make it. Ladies and gentlemen, dare I say, we might be seeing a map 3. Replay operators, if you don't keep clip on creepies, you're fired. Andy looking to get aggressive here. This is kind of what you get for not reinforcing the walls of garage. Becomes a problem. But now, eases up on the pressure due to the run out on the other side. 5v5 is the name of the game, and it looks like CC is going to be the objective, which I haven't seen in a while. Capital Flame Bolts rain on out. Frost Mat awaits for the top of the stairs, and it looks like that drone may have spotted him. GBA looking to go knocking on the door of the garage, but Andy will find the first. Looking to build off of that, they just need to clear the garage pressure. Smoke grenades getting prioritized, but Azami just sprays and prays. Connects bullets, but Andy will fall to Crypto. 1 HP next to his name, but it's enough to get the job done. Azami continuing to spray and pray. Now 2 players are down to 1 HP. To make matters worse, the Flame Bolts rain on in. That's a perfect flush out. How does no one capitalize? Crypto late to the task, but manages to capitalize, and Gazer staying alive for that long. It honestly took you too long to be able to capitalize. 2v3 the name, and now that is a problem for Obey. You guys just lost all of your bodies, and to make matters worse, the Frost Mat you had just droned out a minute ago claims the last body. That's round, and now we move on to the match point for CC. It looks like we're gonna go to bank. Church and Arsenal, the potential last sight of the day. Does CC have what it takes? As I try to mentally prepare myself what is next up for this round, I genuinely don't think it's possible. It's just tomfoolery off of tomfoolery, and now we approach the match point. CC trailing now, my apologies, CC trailing in the beginning and now above the 3-round margin, meaning they'll be able to pick the sides for that third map. To make matters worse, Adexi gets TK'd. I mean, how does one commentate TKing? As they look to continue and build off of it, Abolish has managed to get another kill. He is genuinely looking at like, he might get 40 kills in the series. JBA for the second TK. He'll take care of another man, and somehow it's still 2v4. JBA now lagging to make matters worse. It looks like we might need to see a sub here. But the way it looks, ladies and gentlemen, map 3 next up. Bank in our hands, and might be a little fun to see. A little bit of action. Finally, something springs into life. But they look to come knocking on the door of the CC hold, and they have 4 bodies to deal with. Time is against you. Everything is actually against you because you have no utility. You executed Exi in cold blood, and somehow you have a hard breacher. GB looking to bait somebody. It's just not working. What am I watching? Abolish. Ring around the rosy here. Almost. But deficit now taken down to just 1 man. They need to find a body, and they will be back at level. But that's a different narrative as Crypto finds one, looks to find the next, but Bars on the chopping block trying to thread the needle, but you can just go back to site, and that's exactly what it'll do. The toxicity of this series has been absolutely amazing. Bars, he's twerking on your teammate. What are you expecting to happen? The punch hole finally claims the life as Bars finds 3 and looks to try to find an ace here to close it out, but meantime, Abolish is on a near 30-something kills in 2 maps. Looking to drop, Gazer ends it out, and ladies and gentlemen, we go to map 3. Bank it is! I'm not gonna waste any time. I don't have any final thoughts except beautiful aim, creepy. We'll be back right after a quick break. Make sure to leave a follow and stick around if you want to support the ads. Thank you guys so much. I'll be right back. You know what? If you guys could just hear what I'm seeing in this game chat, I genuinely think I'd be reported to a Siberian prison. But regardless, bank the name of the game, map 3, and let's get it going. That's not bank. Let get it, let go. Let get it, let go. Let get it. I'm trying not to lose my mind right now. I mean, these guys are genuinely just trolling. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to get you guys to listen in. This is the first console listen-in ever. Let me know if you guys can hear this. That is currently Andy's term and JBA aggressively screaming in the mic at the top of their lungs. Nice. That's the name of the game. As we move on, that'll be Bank. CC attacks and should be. What am I doing, bro? God, how is this? How is this something I do? Oh, deep breaths. Deep breaths. I'm genuinely just trying to keep it together. Ladies and gentlemen, move on into the basement site first here for Obey. All trolling right now. This might be the most unserious path to a finals. Both Wild Boys teams having a great old time. It just looks like they're having a blast when it comes to just taking their sweet time. As they look to come knocking on the door of these defenders, blue is going to be hell. Well, that's actually comp. I've never seen this before. That's a comp. No smoke to play blue. It'll just be the Azami, and he's going to be committed to marble with a Dexy playing out in garage. Head holes are given. Kaid, no bueno. It'll be a little bit of an interesting attack because Habana's been taken off the board, meaning you're going to have to rely on 2 sets of can openers, which is going to be brought here from the Capitao and the Amaru. Slowly taking the time here to get on roam clearing, abolish things, doing step by step, but it's a 5-man bunker. As he'll approach that 90-second mark, this will be a little crazy to be able to approach. Bank is a timely fashion map, and the question is, can you do it in that timely fashion? Now, 5v5 on the clock. Vulcan's now finally getting popped out here. That's 2 out of the 4. And he still possesses 3 toxic babes, and C4s are still in the pocket of Bars. I think this will go down as my funniest cast, or my favorite cast ever. Second favorite. Last weekend, I peaked at 234 with Bogos, so that will be amazing. Adexi looking to find first blood of the series, but oh my god, he put more bullets into the garage than he did the actual person. Looking to thread the needle. That's a police car, not a head. And it looks like he's going right back to trolling as the plant goes down. The Crypto goes down first. Barst looks to stick, but refrags, bodies raining in. Plant denied. Gazer finds 2. Doesn't really matter. Plant denied successfully. Verticality, established body will be finished off by a Dexy. The long angle, the double team between Dexy and the man sitting in garage is enough to hold it out, and Andy will be the last man to take care of business. What an interesting round. I mean, this just genuinely... No. It started off competitive on the map of Cafe, and then it started to get troll on Bank. And the goddamn Clubhouse. I mean, Clubhouse was just interesting. I'm not going to say it was weird. Now, this is just going to be pure tomfoolery. As I look to try and string together a sentence that doesn't insult either side. They both made it to map 3. I mean, I guess that's good enough. But if you are just joining us here, ladies and gentlemen, this is map 3 of a Kyanite semifinals. Now, whoever does win this, regardless of organization, considering they're both from the same, they will advance on to the finals. Now, CC has been in the finals of Kyanite multiple times. Do they have the passion to be able to do it for, I think, the 3rd? They've been in the Kyanite finals since I started casting, and that's been since last June. A little bit of a risky castle, Barsh, and that's kind of what happens when you don't be mindful of your surroundings. External play becoming a problem here as First Blood emerges from the window. Creepy finds Refrag trying to get his team back in lead, but that'll just be a first kill here. Now, as it all calms down, the Rotaro charges will flood in. The site set up a little bit underprepared here, leaving us at a 3v4 where utility plays a heavy factor. C4 no joy, as Andy has 2 in this current map. As Crypto looks to find a kill, looks to find a connection here, he is going to continue and rely on the pressure from his Rotaro charges. In the meantime, JBA all the way downstairs, Archives Tellers, Fast Roam will be able to find a kill for himself, and Andy continues his reign of terror. JBA for the second, now missing all the action because it continues to get all over the place. The action scattered, the kit is down and loose, and Crypto's left outside of square with 3 bodies to claim. Below 90 seconds left on the clock. He'll look to try to make that 2, but decides to mag dump the flag instead. Creepy finds the quick and instant refrag, now growing the differential to 2. Both sides funnier than the other. And I think it's starting to become a little bit more serious. The utility was being used for either side. They were droning out. They were taking it seriously. I mean, the side setup wasn't as good, but I think it's just because they're trolling. The mid site now is one of those where you need to be able to approach it with caution and the ability to lock in here. The Azami is brought. So is the castle. They have a structured lineup. The question is, are they going to be able to set it up? I continue and look to find a interesting sentence to try to make this more intriguing. These guys are already doing all the heavy lifting for me. I mean, casting's supposed to be bringing together the narrative. The narrative here is both teams have just lost their damn minds. A little bit late to the reinforcements here. Abolish not having that superstar game right now, but I think he'll still have the best record in terms of... No. KD and Coast. Yeah, he's been in the site a couple of times here. I was trying to think. His Coast is going to be insanely high because he's found himself in the objective a couple of times. Clutch factor player of Doom here, but currently has nothing to show for that as his team just cannot fall. Andy, first blood as he sprints outside, and nobody will be there to claim his refrag. Twitch looking to get aggressive, and now, somehow, a Dexy forgot his controller at home and plugged in an Atari controller to try to take that gunfight. That's a quick refrag, but they'll still trail by a body, and now it will be Abolish left on the second floor alongside with Gazer to try and dissect this defense. Andy now locking on the door of these defenders and attackers. He looks to just go crazy. His free reign is just run around the map and dissect anybody who even looks at him the wrong way. As he's now being put in a little bit of a sticky situation, barely escapes death as that breach charge would have claimed his life, but the wallbang throughout the divider's enough. And now you have to stop crawling as the pressure from Archives starts to rain in. Viz will confirm, leaving us at level. That'll be JBA to take care of business yet again. Abolish to get taken care of as now a refrag reigns right back in. Quick one tap here from Vizsla gets things done. 2v2 continues to become a much more achievable round here for CC, but they're both very low. The F-Nauts are against them, and there are Kiba barriers set up here. Looks like a Fortnite setup here. Looks like Barsh was cranking 90s before we had started, and it looks like an execute needs to be pitch perfect or we are going to be seeing a third Obey round. They look to set up here, but the castle finally gets open. Barsh playing a game of Bring Around the Rosie. Once this Kiba falls, it becomes a problem for the cover. There's Creepy. He's getting aggressive here, looking to help address this pressure, but Bars doesn't need it. He's composed. He'll take one with him as he'll go down, and that is a 1v1. The F-Naught's effect. Kit in hand. Vizsla's low. Creepy's not. 100 HP next to your name, and it needs to be a term of relax, sit back, and take your time. Makibas will protect you, and that's just going to be a term of play stupid, play dumb, and it'll work out here. Map knowledge, site knowledge, and utility knowledge takes care of business, and that'll be a third in the favor of Obey. Locker CC, they won it 3 rounds ago and they look to win it for a 4th round in total. It looks like they've now built up the streak. They've built up their reputation and they're now getting comfortable in their own boots on that 3rd map. As my headache starts to set in here, both teams really making themselves known. I mean, one of them for the kill record on one guy and the other's falling short. And the other for having a generational bad series. First Blood looking to go down, Andy taking heavy damage, but has a reset waiting right for him. As they look to dissect vertical yet again, they don't have the pleasure of having a Habana, so that means 2 sets of can openers yet again. Only Andy's the one that will get aggressive here. Abolish versus Andy, and the one-tap king will emerge, and that'll be Abolish to claim. Looking to find that refrag. We approach the 1 minute 50 marker. All defenders now taking that passive approach except for Dexy because he's the man to go up for the task. Kid is now loose. What are you guys going to be able to adapt? Who's going to drop the hatch? Who's going to go swing the man on marble? And who is going to take their time and try to dissect the defender play here? It's all slowed down. Drones rain in. Utility now comes into play. And a C4 onto the head of Gazer. Who is that, JBA or LeBron? That'll be another kill as we approach the 90-second marker. And this becomes a problem. Bailiff, close range, does a good amount of damage here, and they look to become lethal in this close range. Barsh looking to find that next Abolish. You only have 100 health, be mindful of that. And now it starts to become a problem when you guys aren't mindful of your time. We've spoken about this before. The kit is now in Vizsla's hands, but no longer as Vizsla meets his maker. Caster's Curse hits. Below a minute left, and now only 2 attackers, and Abolish is considering it. I mean, there's nothing left to lose at this point. You're the individual clutch factor man, and he knows better. C4 no longer there, but a yokai is definitely something to be able to deny this plant. Crypto, double teamed, gets 2 as he'll have 2 players line up for him, and there's no way they toss this. There's no way in hell they toss this. They have the Vulcans, they have yokais, and they have 30 seconds. He brings in the second yokai. All the player has to do left alive. And Dexy just needs to pop the Vulcan canister and continue to waste out the time. Dropping the hatch here. Abolish becomes lethal, but Creepy finds the refrag, and Crypto finds himself where he needs to find the ones. Ring Around the Rose is going to be the name of the game, and he knows he needs to isolate. 1v1. He's circling like a shark, and there's 5 seconds left on the clock. Get that plant down. No way you proceed to clutch or lose. Ring Around the Rosie, it's Creepy to deal too much damage for Crypto to be able to reel it back in, and that'll be no response so far from CC as they are getting flawless. 2 more rounds until we approach that match point, ladies and gentlemen. And I mean, Jesus, what else can we expect from the series? TKs, whiffs, I can't say that, never mind. 4-0, the name of the game. And it becomes a problem when you don't have a response. As they look to continue and capitalize upon their lead, they can walk out of this half with 6 rounds in hand, putting them at a total of match point. Now, that's all they have to do to be able to confirm. I thought it was going to be much closer due to the overtime and the very close map too, but apparently not. External play coming into a factor here by CC. It was the closest round for them to be able to win. C4 hits nobody but Bars. And just look at this site setup. Windows become almost impossible here to have to deal with the mirrors. To make matters worse, the man with the SMG-11 in hands becomes lethal. Andy, the king, looks to continue and make this lead bigger for his team. He's found first blood. He's taken care of Vizsla. That's external play. If he can find the second, it is all hell broken loose. But now, as all of the gunfights rain in, you'll have stock being denied here by Creepy. 7-0. No whiffs this time around. And now the live ping's raining into sight, and somehow Bars wins that gunfight. And what is this? Pre-fire central. Somebody win the damn gunfight. Finally, body drops. Quickie takes care of Creepy. That's a tongue twister. Say that 5 times. As the 90-second mark, everybody's dead. 7 bodies remain for either side. And it puts us into a situation where now everybody's going to have to rely on their gunfights. Abolish is disgusting. He'll make it a 3v3. That G in his hands. He has more health. He has the ability to capitalize, but not enough. Andy takes care of business. Crypto looking to get aggressive here, 100 HP, but he has to be mindful. Bearing 9 and a shotgun on the opposing roster, just a little bit too much. The fire rate at that close range, Vector shreds him, and 3v1 is going to be the main idea. Quickie left with 1 HP, Abolish leaving the game, and now that'll be defenders for round 5. And is this going to be a forfeit, or is Abolish just done for the day? Is this a forfeit? There's no way they 5v4 this, right? Fall of Superstar Abolish. Pretty sure he has dropped nearly 40 kills in this series, including this last map. Didn't do the best on this map, but I mean, if you can drop nearly 40 kills in 3 maps, I don't care if you go negative ones, especially when you've lost a map as well. But that's potentially the end of the series. We're 1 round away from seeing the elimination of CC, and this might be the end in general. And we might see the finals quite soon. This time around next week, we will be seeing Obey versus, if I'm not mistaken, it was Team Synergy that took it. No, they're not even in this league. It's 5-2. Let's go check. Yep. 5.2 advances on to the finals. 2-0. Taking us to a very stacked final. And now, what is the motive? Because I don't have any words for you guys on the break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back quite fast, I'd hope. Well, little bit of a give up here from Abolish. I mean, you can't blame him. The kid's put in everything, blood, sweat, and tears to the series, and is going to walk out with an L as he is 5-0, and they are now going to 100% be mental chalked. The potential last or second last round of the game as Crypto meets his maker. We now approach the very ending of the series. I mean, at least I would think. Barce, I mean, he needs to give them a fighting chance. He'll find a refrag, takes care of business. A Dexy falls short to the hands of Gazer, 3v4. And now this is going to be a quite interesting last couple of rounds. Gazer going up for 2, and maybe a response here for CC finally reigns on in as they will take care of business. 2v4, verticality established, and this will be their last round. Creepy finds a refrag. Vizsla is in sight to make matters worse, though. Barce, you have a clutch in the factor to make this a flawless map 3. Are you up for the task? And FNOut will cover that man. You just need to be able to find that first kill. You'll find one, but you get shut up by Stargazer. Finally, they'll get themselves on the board, and that will be the switch of attackers at halftime. But CC now trails 4 rounds. Now, quite interesting indeed, ladies and gentlemen. We went from the most comp to now, everybody losing their minds. But, again, this is why we see the outcomes of either game. Everything can happen. Everything's on the line. And it looks like CC is the team to fall and crumble under that pressure. CC being gifted defense. I mean, is it enough to be able to do anything at this point is the question. Shield up being brought. It looks like the overwhelm of dirt is now to emerge. You'll have the pressure coming in here from Barce. The shockwaves of the shells will immobilize him for 2 seconds. First blood in the favor of Crypto as he'll take care of Adexi. Even the heartbeat room makes it worse. Crypto taking damage. Reset is going to be waiting for him. C4, no connection. It'll just take care of his health. No fatalities, and the Crypto corner is going to be in the hands of Gazer. Now, sitting around Vulcans, Yokais, and Mute Jammers, he's going to have a hell of a time here as the aggression just doesn't work. He got the bodies low, meaning he has managed to allow anybody who walks into the site. If they walk into those Goyos, they will fall. I mean, I tell you, and it happens. Get me in Pro League, sub me in, coach. That'll be damage dealt to both Creepy and Barce, putting them in a very difficult situation here in terms of executing. You have to be mindful. One wrong mistake, one tick of Firebolt health to you, and you are done and dusted. They look to approach the site. This mirror is going to be a problem, and they know it will be. smoke to cover either side, but the yokai is still a viable thing. And now the flames rain on in. Can you manage to get the plant? I mean, the yokais are there, but the C4s and the volcans just make matters worse. He'll drop, he'll fall to the Goyos, and he finds one. And now, leaving this into a vulnerable situation where we have 1 minute and 10 seconds left, and he's in a pool of defenders, and it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, is this the beginning of the end or the beginning of a new comeback? Deficit now trails at 3. You've been gifted defense. Can you do it? I gotta put on a different headset. I mean, earbuds is for competitive gameplay. This, my friends, upstairs, going to be the site. I mean, you've brought the Wamai, but you haven't brought the mirror. That kind of makes it a little bit confusing here. A bit of a curveball, but to each their own, I guess, as now we'll be seeing how they'll approach it. Interesting Volcan placement here, as now they'll be able to approach upstairs without the fear of being ran out on. But 30 seconds in, and it looks like the attack is starting to pull up from a marble and a stock play with pressure from the external side. You have to be mindful, though. Aggression needs to play into factor, especially that it's only castle. No Azami, no Mira. Obey just need 1 round to be able to close it out to match point, and we've seen this before where they've started to just start slacking off. As both teams look to try to find first blood here, it looks like Andy, boots on the ground with the aggression, looking to just waltz in here to find the first kill, but it'll be abolished to do that. He'll stand up to the task here. Look wide. Andy finds one very easy one on the Gazer, finds the second, rains his terror, and continues to make that G8 inflict pain upon CC. Feel my wrath, he says, and that's exactly what he'll do. That's a double for him, and he's gained the lead. 1-man deficit, make that nil, as they will even it out at a 3v3. Abolish versus Andy. Obvious who becomes the merge. It's just going to be Andy for 3, and he'll fall short. Abolish to find his third, but fall short as well. And Abolish now, you need to find a response, but you're no longer with us. JBA looking to take care of Elevator. Bars trying to address Janitors, and now it'll become a game of Ring Around the Rosie until somebody's ballsy enough to find that next kill. Looking to knock on the doors of sight, you just need to be able to find this castle, but Vizsla's positioning is too elite. Bulletproof camera puts him up in a beautiful position here. Just play your time, but Quickie will do the double damage here. The Cross of Doom be able to do the job. 47 seconds, and you'll be left in a 1v2 situation with both players trying to play stationary. Vizsla is not a person who will aggressively swing you, and Quickie knows what's at stake. They can win this round. It's just closed out to 2 rounds, and it's all about taking your sweet old time. JBA looking to close out the distance and isolate them to be 2 separate ones, and that is the main name of the game. Otherwise, it becomes a problem. But Quickie, too smart to fall into the traps of his own. Volcan canister advances and takes care of business. That'll take us 2-round deficit. Ladies and gentlemen, are we seeing a comeback? I mean, this might be either the worst or best BO3 I have ever seen. If that happens, if they make a successful comeback, well, what are we thinking? Torque on stream? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. That is a very, very possible thing. You might see it. You might. The stage is set. Obey just needs one. CC has been playing catch-up since the first map. They got lucky on the second. They locked in and they took their own one home. But again, you have to admit there was a little bit of funky business going on from Obey. Now, this is going to be the game where both sides know what's at risk and they're going to take it very seriously. Obey rising to the task, finding first blood, and it's again Andy to kill Vizsla. Taking care of business, but we've seen CC, they're not out until they're out. They will stay passionate. That'll be easier to find a refrag, now putting his team right back up at level. Are we in for the best narrative of a semi-final here, ladies and gentlemen? A C4 not used, but you will fall down, finished off by the window, and that is exactly why you reinforced that wall. 4v3. They have been able to reset now. The Retero charges will now be used. One left as he's burnt the Kibas. He's burned barbed wire. And now he takes his sweet old time. Crypto selling himself in abolish shanking bars. You've now lost your Monty as he goes for a flank of doom. Where's the response? Nowhere. Crypto rising up to the task. From 0 to hero as he now is having a good game. From going 0-something, 1-8 to 1-9 to now 6-7. Make that 7-7, buddy, as you'll connect. Cased loose. And one round seems to be the deficit if he can clutch it. 1v2. Both players 100 HP with cams. I would hope so. C4s and a flank. He looks to plant. And it looks to be a situation where you bait. Abolish. Getting him down to 1 HP. Quickie to finish it out. CC are doing the impossible. There's no way, ladies and gentlemen. I am loving this. I am starting to smile. This is becoming a history book. I mean, a history book. Not in the history books, a history book itself. Because if CC can do this, they are going to etch themselves into the Kyanite history of taking down their org rivals in the funniest way possible. Maybe not that serious for Obey, but I definitely think this is going to be a narrative to be pushed forever and ever. As we are 15 seconds away to either deciding if it's level or match point. CC, you're on defense. You have so much to address. You've managed to do it before. Can you continue to push your narrative? You've managed to do it before and again and again. And if you can do it right here, right now, you have risen to the task of potentially making one of the greatest comebacks I think I've seen. Lots of holes to be stitched up here for Obey. The first damage will be dealt to Adexi, but finished off with the death of Andy, as he'll take care of one. Oh, abolish, abolish, abolish. You have done 3 maps and 3 games with double digits next to your name. You have outdone yourself, and this man is having a generational series. Quickie to build off of that lead, and ladies and gentlemen, I think it's happening. Bars looks to reset alongside with Creepy as they need to re-attack. They need to reapproach how they'll attack. And Abolish looks to continue and build off his reign of terror. Cams being checked, utility being used, and he is going to continue to be his own judge, jury, and executioner. He has his own stims, he has an ACOG, and for him, that's enough, as he'll find the third. You are unstoppable, and one man lies and wait for you in the ATM's main corridor. Can you achieve? 1v5, the name of the game for the final round, and Monty looks to go claim the life of the man who's running crazy outside. The question is his team going to allow him to try and build on that lead? Abolish, you have a man knocking on your door with a P9, and you don't have what it takes. You've done your job. You've taken care of 3 bodies, and now 3 defenders will seek asylum in this site while the 4th looks to claim the body. Lurking Grim Reaper, the top of square, it becomes oh so important that they win this round, leaving it at level, as now they all begin to advance towards out. Oh, Monty, there's no way you walk out of this alive. Shot to the front and back and you'll be taken care of. 5-5, and there is no way this is happening. Executive and CEO, the name of the game, ladies and gentlemen. One more round, and regardless of the victor, we move on to match point. Becomes a problem here for either side when you allow this to happen. The trolling, the confidence. Patience is a virtue, and CC has administered that philosophical quote oh so perfectly, as they have managed to wait their ways through a comeback. They've played patient, they've absorbed the shock from the initial aggression from Obey, and they've found the first pick and then capitalized upon that. Now, taking a look if they can capitalize on this one round, we move to the greatest comeback of all time. D75 auto, you don't hear that game and gun oh too often, but it looks like it will be brought with the sentry. Usually you see that shotgun being brought for the initial destruction, but just not needed. They have the shotguns, they don't need the mirror, and they have the castle as well. Surprisingly, no zombie, and Obey crumbled at the site set up here, and it became a problem. A minute burned off the clock, and 5v5 is going to be how it'll remain until somebody can change this deadlock. Oh, who's up to the task? Will it be Creepy? Will it be Abolish? Two prolific fraggers for either side, as Andy will be the one who trails in short with probably the third amount of kills in the series. Abolish looks to get aggressive here, looking to find first blood. Creepy looking to engage. They're both not going to back down, but it will be Andy to find first blood. Abolish looking to try to find a refrag, but needing to restim himself as it all emerges into action. Andy finding his second, now overtaking Creepy, and now becoming the second best fragger of the series. Creepy reeling it back in, finding a refrag. 4v3, the name of the game, and now it becomes a problem for Obey. You have a man waltzing in the middle of the site. Where is the bulletproof camera? Where's the utility? As now Gazer looks lost, doesn't hear the audio, and a 4v2 now becomes so much more achievable for Obey, and somehow you've managed to let Obey, oh no, you've managed to let Abolish go. How? This is what happens. You'll allow him, he'll come back up to terrorize you, he'll find one. Abolish, can you find the greatest clutch to find the greatest comeback to become the best fragger I think I've ever seen? And that answer is a quick AR-33 to the teeth, as now they will be on the match point. Obey try and lock in for one round, and that has now given them the advantage yet again. The potential last sight of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Obey on attack. CC trying to find a response here with defense. They need to be able to do so. Otherwise, all of this hard work and effort is going to be completely undone. Both teams, lots to prove. I think Obey couldn't care less, though. It becomes this breaking point, ladies and gentlemen. We need a winner. Infinite overtime. The max potential is 15 rounds, which is 7-7. So, close if we go to overtime. CC, though, they need to be able to just get to the overtime finish line first. Don't leave Abolish alive is genuinely the only narrative they should have. He has 14 kills. He had 20 the first map, and I'm pretty sure he had like 11 the second. The kid is floating, and he's well broken that 40 kill record. No way he hasn't. As now one man looks to knock on his door, it'll be Andy, and he will find the easy kill. You guys have to be able to cover your player. He's done so much for you. Where's the response? The site not reinforced, nothing set up properly. That will become a problem. You'll have the bare bones, but what else do you have to show for? Because now the square walls are all soft. JBA making matters worse, he'll capitalize, and they will advance through square with their heads held up high. 2 bodies claimed and none to lose. No fatalities, and now they look to make that even worse as Andy looks to find the Wamai, but no bueno. One man sitting close in janitors. It'll be Quickie to try to make matters worse, but oh my god. Andy and Creepy 5v1, blowing up another man, and it looks like we've come to the end of the series. Oh, we could have seen the best comeback of all time in the console scene, but it comes to an end, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know where to approach it. Andy stepping up to the task. Abolish near 40 kills. I think he's well above 40 now. I think he's now touched into the region of 50 kills in a 3-map series. And that's just the semifinal. We'll now be seeing... I'm leaving before these guys say anything racist. All right. Before we head off for the night, we will be seeing 5.2, the prolific Zemphy and Tom the Bomber squad verse up against, as seen on TV, Wild Boys Obey. Oh my god, I just had a stroke. It's been a long night. We're approaching a 3-hour mark. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a follow. If you've clipped anything, try to tag me in the socials. I would appreciate it. Check out the YouTube for the VOD and any other videos that you might enjoy. And subscribe if you're feeling naughty. I'll see you guys in the next stream, which should be tomorrow. Have a great rest of your night, and peace.